Hello and welcome to another Redbex training video. In this video we're going to talk about jobs and job management. Tasks that should be executed at specific points in time by schedule or have a really long execution time are handled in Redbex by jobs. Jobs are created by the user. The user defines which task actually should be executed and when it should be executed, and then Redbex cares for the rest. Redbex also gives you the possibility to manage these tasks. So you can see when they have been executed, you can see if the result was okay, and you also can break and stop tasks with the management console. Let's have a look at the Redbex system and I'll show you how to do this. You will find in the common ribbon there are two different buttons in the jobs section. One is the job management and the other one is the job definitions button. As we do not have any jobs yet, we will start with the job definition, and this window now gives me the possibility to define a new job. Redbex offers a big variety of different jobs that can be of different tasks. This can be defined on this step. If you click the plus button, you will see there are quite a number of different types of tasks that can be planned. So for example, you find here the export definition can be executed by a job, also the import definition, so you could define at specific points in time every Monday or every Tuesday, whatever, a specific import definition should be executed automatically. In our training video here we are going to use the last type of job. This is the test job. This is actually executed but has no task behind, so it's just for test purposes. Again, the first general tab gives me the possibility to give a name and a description. Like this. And the job type is already filled out. I can't change this anymore because this is done by the selection I have done in the first step. Also the owner will be displayed here after I've saved this job. And then I have two different priorities which can rate the execution and also the thread of the job. So the first one would influence how fast this job is going to be executed after it has been queued, and the first priority tells the system it should be handled with higher priority or with normal priority. So I just leave it like it is. One word, we have here two different classes of priorities, the privileged priorities and the unprivileged priorities. To create a job with privileged priorities, you have to have, or the user has to have specific privileges. So only, for example, the administrator is able to save job definitions with privileged execution priority. So these jobs will always be executed before the other jobs. So you can define very important jobs that way and make sure that they will be executed before every other job is going to be executed. So the second tab gives me information about according to the type of job. In this case, we don't have that much settings here. I can just define how long this test job should be running, because actually this job is not doing anything, so I have the possibility to give a duration to make a more realistic test case. For example, I would say 30 seconds should be enough. Then I can define the outcome of this job. I keep it with success, and I could also trigger some successors. I won't do this here, and I also could define some follow-up jobs, but I also leave it blank here. I don't want to do this for the test case. And then in the second step, I have the possibility to give some scheduling to this job, and the schedule is done, maybe the cron job definition of Unix. It's just the same here. I will just make some definition right now and afterwards execute this job, and after this I will show you in more detail how this definition is done, because then we have already a job running and we can then later on have some input for the job management also. So I would like, for example, to run this job every second minute. So I make an asterisk and followed by a slash and 2, which means every minute, but only every second minutes, because it's slash 2. I would like to do it every hour of the day, every day in the month, every month in a year, every day of the week, and I don't care for state, date and end date. So this is enough for right now. I give it also a time zone. Let me see. Where is my time zone right now? Should be, actually it doesn't matter that much, but here it is, Vienna. And the job is also, the schedule is enabled, so if I save it right now, the job will start to be executed right after I save this job definition, which I will do right now. So if we go back to our stored job definitions and I reload the information from the database, I will see there is one job definition already here, and it is going to be executed, as we will see later on. So now let's return to the schedule here, and before I show you this schedule within here, I would like to show you the documentation of Redbex, our reference manual, and there you will find a chapter about recurring events, and you will see here, this is in the application server, chapter common services, event schedules, and here we have the recurring events, and there you see what can be entered. I'll make this a little bit smaller so we can see both of these windows. Here you can see what you can enter in these fields. So the minutes can be in the range from 0 to 59 according to the minutes of an hour. The hour can be between 0 and 23. The day, of course, between 1 and 31. Months 1 to 12. And then more interesting is the day of week, which actually starts with 0, and 0 means Sunday, and then it ranges up to 6, and 6 will be then, of course, Saturday. So if I would enter here days of week 1, for example, this would mean this will be executed every Monday. If I enter here in the month of the year the number 12, this would mean this job would be executed only in the month of December, because 12 is the December of month. And I can also define by giving 2 hours. For example, I say here 7 and 16. So this would mean this job would be executed in December only on Monday on 7 o'clock in the morning and 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and in these hours every 2 hours. So it would start at 7 o'clock, then the next time would be 7 o'clock and 2 minutes, and then 4 minutes, etc. So every 2 minutes at 7 o'clock, and all the 2 minutes which 4 p.m. would be the execution time of this definition here. To have a better look of this definition and to see the outcome of this definition, you have a possibility to press this button here at below the definition, and then you will get an action log which just okay. So to test this definition, you have the possibility to press this button here below. I will make this definition a little more simpler for the system, and then press get next 100 events, and then I get an action log actually, and in this action log I will see all the definitions here are done here. So I see this starts at the 28th of December, and it will start at 7 o'clock, and then every after every 2 minutes this job will be executed until 7:58, and then it will start on the next day again. So let's go back to this definition. We have defined in the December at every Monday this job execution should happen, and so we see here that we start on the 28th of December, and then we would start, of course, the next year, because 2015 the December is then executed, and the next December would be in 2016, and then we start on the 5th, because this is a Monday in 2016 in December, and the next Monday would be the 12th of December 2016, and so on. So this is the system how this works. I would really suggest to give a look to the reference manual, because if you read this and get also read the text here, you will of course understand it very quickly. It is not that complicated, even it looks really not too easy to handle, but you will see this is quite a really mighty possibility to name points in time, to name repeating points in time. So you have also some additional signs. I did this already in the first entry. You can also write, for example, /15, and this would mean every 15 minutes this would be executed. For example, let's have a look in our future job, then you will see this, of course, you will see this only is done at 7:50, 7:30, 7:45, and so on. So, but you have additional possibilities to find a time schedule here also. You can enter start date and the end date, if this should only happen in a specific period of time. So if you do not want this to happen till like the end of time, then you could define here, please execute this only until, let's say, 2080 in December, and the last Monday will be the 20 or the 31, and so the 31st December, and so, for example, the project will end at this date, or is expected to end at this date, and then so I can also define this job to be executed until this specific date here. You have also the possibility to add some recurring pauses. So if you do not want this job to be executed, for example, during vacation time in summer, then you can enter here specific ranges of time, and in this range, for example, let's say this is vacation, and 11th of January 2016. So this would mean within this timestamps here, the execution would not be done, the jobs would not be executed. And then you have a third possibility. You can also enter specific times, points in time. So if you know that, for example, I have to execute this job also on the 22nd, even it's not a Monday, I have to do it on a Thursday, but only on this Thursday at 9 o'clock in the morning for some reason, then I can define this specific point of time here, and so the job will also be executed on this given point in time, which is done right here. So we have here the definition of repeating points of time for the future. We can restrict these points in time with using of a start date and an end date. We can enter specific time spans in which the execution will be halted, will be paused. So for example, for a vacation, I can define this job should not be executed, and then I also have the possibility to give some specific times, specific points in time where the job also is going to be executed. So let's have a look to the job management, because this job now already was running for some time. I save this again, and then I open up the window of job management. and there right now I see the job is actually now running. The progress bar is kind of green, and I can open up this entry here, and then I can see this job is within step 2. So whatever this job has some steps to do, it's only a test job, so this is actually not it's just for test purposes. And I can also pause this job right now. I could abort this job here using the context menu, and I also can see the job log, and here in the job log you will see that this job already was executed at some times. So here it was completing the first step. This job log of course is only for test purposes, because as I said before, this job is not doing anything, it's just a test job with some test steps. I can recall this date here to get the actual information about this job. If I do not want to recall this manually, but by clicking this reload button, I also have the possibility to automatically reload the content of this window by clicking the second button, and then, for example, right now it's set to 30 seconds, or I can also set it to 1 minute. So now every minute the content of this window would be reloaded and give me the actual status of my jobs. Actually, I have only this one job here being executed. So now the job execution was done. We actually do not have any active jobs right now. You see here we have the tab active, so there is no active job execution in this time. And if I look to the archived tab, then I should see here some entries. We see here we have here a lot of executions of my job test job I was just creating for this video, and then we also have some import on the fly, and also some installation of updates for the application server. So these jobs have all been executed, and I can see also which job was failed and which job succeeded. So this gives us one hint which is actually also interesting: import on the fly. We did already the import in one of the last videos. So if you do, whenever you do an import, and just creating an import definition, so some import, and not saving this import definition, just walk through the tabs and then execute it immediately by this run button here. Actually, this is also executed by a job, but this is just an on-the-fly job. It's not based to a saved job definition. Redbex does this internally, just create as a job, and also this job, which is on the fly, can be managed by the job management, and you will see the execution of this job then by the tag import on the fly job of the type of job. And this also could be then paused and aborted if it would be necessary. And here afterwards you can also see the job log, and you can see what actually happened here. You have the error messages and can dig in deeper if there is some problem. So let's return to the types of job. I told you we have quite a number of different types of jobs. I will not go through every type here because this will take too long. I will just show you the reference manual. Once again, I will introduce you to our reference manual, and you will see here there is in the application server we have the common services, and there are the jobs, and you will find there a job type section, and here you have a list of every job type, and you will see what actually can be done by this type of job here. Here you see also the test job. You see what is possible to be defined for this job, and how what this job is actually used for. So please just open up the Redbex manual, the reference manual, and have a look for jobs also, and then I'm sure you will be able to manage jobs in Redbex.